Good afternoon from the kitchen, folks. Yet another experimental day in home brewing. Today I'm going to have a go at making a cherry Bakewell flavoured cider. I'm using the turbo cider method, so the recipes in today's ingredients, the key ones, are 4 litres of apple juice, which is from concentrate, so it only contains apple juice. I've got half a litre of coconut water in here, again which contains just the water from 1.5 coconuts. I've got MyProtein Flavdrops marzipan flavour for the almondness, MyProtein Flavdrops cherry flavour for the cherryness, Bulldog cider yeast, spring water because the tap water where I am is a bit chlorine-y, and finally 300 grams of brewing sugar. I'm going to begin by putting roughly 500 ml of spring water into this saucepan. Then I'm just going to stir into the spring water the 300 grams of brewing sugar. It's very fine, so it dissolves quickly. I'll just need to add a little bit of heat. So while I'm waiting for that to dissolve, let's get on with the rest of the brew. I'm using a Tesco 5 litre water bottle as my fermentation vessel. That's been washed and sterilised, and I'm going to begin by just pouring the coconut water in. I'll just give the sugar a stir. This is going to dissolve completely any second, and I can turn the heat off. So back to my fermentation vessel, and I'm now going to add the apple juice. This is the easiest cider that you'll ever make. This is my 3rd litre of apple juice going in. I'm now going to add the sugar water before I put any more apple juice in because I want to see how much space I've got. I've got room for about another half litre of apple juice, so I'll add that too. Now I'm going to add some flavour. These MyProtein Flavdrops are quite strong, but I'm going to put 2 full pipettes of each flavour into the fermentation vessel. So 1 marzipan, 2 marzipan. Each one of these pipettes is about 15 drops. Then 1 cherry and 2 cherry. You'll note that I've completely overfilled the fermentation vessel, but that's just fine because I'm going to pour some out now to take the original gravity, and that won't be going back in. So I'm just going to pour this into my hydrometer jar. It's currently too warm to take the gravity, so I'm going to leave this to cool down for a little while and carry on with the cider. I'm going to add the Bulldog cider yeast, and I'm hoping for a medium dry cider rather than a dry cider. I typically use Lalvin EC1118 yeast, which is kind of dry, and I'm trying to get something that's not so dry this time. I'm going to add a heaped teaspoonful. You can see the yeast falling through there. It will get very happy as the mixture is both warm and very sweet. I'm also going to add some Young's yeast nutrient. I've got about a teaspoonful left in the bottom of here, so I'm just going to pour it in. And that will just help the yeast and give it a bit of a boost. I've got the airlock in place, and now if it does form a krausen, the foamy head on top, and that comes through the airlock, then I'll replace the airlock with a blow-off pipe, but hopefully the krausen won't be too large on this. I need to take the original gravity at 20. I've had this cooling in cold water, and it's now at 20. So in goes the hydrometer. And I'm starting off with an original gravity of 1060, 1.060. So that's my fermentation vessel labelled. I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time when fermentation's over and it comes to the clearing stage. So I'll see you then, folks. Good morning from the kitchen, folks. It's Cherry Bakewell Cider bottling day. Yes, bottling day, not clearing day. I've decided not to clear this one with finings. It's been in there for 7 weeks now, and it has got some opacity to it. You can kind of see a little bit. And what I'm hoping is that once it's been bottled, it will become clearer in the bottle. But I'm also hoping that the extra yeast which will be left in there, because it is still hazy, will help it to get a sparkle. So in order for that sparkle to happen, I need to add priming sugar to the bottles. So to each 750ml bottle, I'm adding one of these, which is a generous heaped teaspoon. And the sugar that I'm using is a mixture of standard household sugar and brewing sugar. As well as the priming sugar, each of the bottles is going to be back flavoured with the MyProtein Flavdrops, and each bottle will get 1 full pipette of each flavour. So I've got my bottles primed and flavoured, so it's bung out of the fermentation vessel, siphoning tube in. So I'm holding the tube in place with this clip. It's right down in the sediment, but the first bit that comes out is going into the hydrometer flask. Let's do it. And then into the bottles. So I'm hopeful that I might get 6 750ml bottles. I'll definitely get 5, and if I don't get 6 750s, I'll get 5 and a 500. So I've got a 500 in reserve just in case. You can really smell that cherry Bakewellness, so fingers crossed this is going to be a good one. Yeah, I've got it. Into there, into there, into there, into there, and that's enough. Right, wow, perfect, absolutely perfect. I've got 6 full bottles, and I've just lifted the tube to prevent any more coming through, and it's right on the sediment line, so I'm very happy with that. I've got my bottles now done. I need to get the bungs in. The bungs have been softening in hot water. They're plastic bungs, and the hot water just makes them a bit more malleable. So I've got the bungs in the bottles. I now need to add cages. When the yeast begins to eat the priming sugar that's in there, it'll create CO2 and pressure. If I don't put these on, then pop. So my bottles are now bunged and caged. I'm just giving them a rinse to get any sticky residue off them because I want to put labels on them. So while my bottles are drying, it's time to take the final gravity so we can work out what the alcohol by volume is. And it's looking like a good one. And the final gravity of this brew is 0.996. It's time to work out the final alcohol by volume. So I take the original gravity of 1.060. I deduct from that the final gravity of 0.996. That equals 0.064. I multiply this by 131.25, and that equals 8.4%. That's a fantastic ABV for a cider. I'm really happy with that. So I've got my labels made up on a template in Microsoft Word. I'm just going to print these off now. So I'm just adding my labels to my bottles now, trying to do it as neatly as possible, taking a bit of pride in how they look. And there they are. I've now got the ciders on my conditioning shelves. The temperature controlled shelves, but at the minute I don't need to worry about the temperature because it's summertime and it's 23 degrees in here. So there is a thermostat which will kick in and put a heater on behind the shelves if it drops below 19.5, but I can't see that happening for the next couple of weeks. So I'll be back in 2 weeks' time to sample these. So I'll see you then, folks. Good evening from the kitchen, folks. It's my cherry Bakewell cider grand opening night, and yes, I am very excited about this one. I'm always excited about my ciders, aren't I? Let's face it. Now, if you can see the cap, it's slightly raised. The cage is holding that. I'm hoping that that means we've got some sparkle. Now, it's been in the bottle since the 10th of June, and it's now the 28th of July, so it's been in a good long time. So this is definitely now, hopefully, in the zone. Let's see what it's like. I want a sparkle, I want clarity, I want good smell, and I want a really nice flavour. What am I going to get? Am I going to get a pop? Oh, come on. That was vapour. That makes me so happy. Right. What's this going to be like? So I've got my 1993 Barnsley Beer Festival tankard. Come on. You can't help but get a little smile when you pour a cider and it does that, can you? It smells wonderful. Let's just pour a little bit more in so we can see what it looks like. Now we've got clarity. We've got absolute fizz there. I mean, this is happy place. Oh, you love that sound, that crescendo, that shh. It smells like almonds, it smells like Bakewell. Wow. That is fantastic. Cherry, almonds, it hits you. That is definite cherry Bakewell. I am well pleased with that. The MyProtein Flavdrops, the cherry and the almond together, it works. That is a delicious, sweet, fruity summer cider. This is something that you definitely want to have in a big glass. Chuck some ice in there, hot sunny day, barbie on, Bob's your uncle. That's one of these. Honestly, this is fantastic. It's so flavoursome. I'm really pleased with this one. This is definitely another one I'm going to make again for absolutely sure. No doubt about that. So it's turned out at 8.4%. It's turned out sweet, it's turned out fruity, and it's turned out delicious. Cheers, folks. I couldn't be happier. Have a lovely day. The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.